is it nice to meet you? I'm Ron Stamford. Yes, the Ron Stamford.
I'm sorry, I don't...
You never heard of Ron Stamford?
No, I'm afraid...
I guess you've heard of Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin.
Yes, of course.
I get it. You heard of those guys, but you never heard of Ron Stamford. I was the third man to walk on the moon.
Gosh, how exciting.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you've not heard of me. All I get is moon this, moon that. I'm sick of the moon. Let's talk about something else. What's your story?
Oh, my parents are from Italy.
Oh, I saw Italy when I was on the moon. I looked up at the earth and there it was, like a tiny little boot. Yeah, it was a beautiful sight.
I can imagine.
Yeah, well, I don't like to talk about it. You were saying...
Yes, my parents first came to England on their honeymoon.
Interesting word, honeymoon. It refers to love waning like the moon. Of course, you experience the phases of the moon very differently when you're on the moon, like I was when I walked on the moon.
I suppose you would. What was it like?
Never mind that. I keep telling you I don't like to talk about it. Try to tell me about yourself without constantly bringing up the moon.
I'm sorry. I really didn't think...
Yes, see, this is what always happens. As soon as people find out I walked on the moon, it's all they want to talk about. I try to change the subject, but it always gravitates back to the moon. Which is ironic, because there's very little gravity on the moon.
Is that really?
Damn it, you've done it again! Stop making me talk about the moon!
I can't help it. Everything I say, you link it back to the moon.
Garbage. Go on then, say something I couldn't possibly link to the moon.
Okay. Have you been watching the tennis?
Sure, I've been watching the tennis, sure. There's been some pretty good matches this year.
Who do you suppose will win?
Well, now, let me see. I'd say Moravic's looking pretty hot.
He's certainly in with a chance.
Yeah.
Yes.
Of course, you can't play tennis on the moon.
You have done it again. You keep on talking about the moon.
Well, you keep bringing it up.
Ron, are you jealous of the attention given to Aldrin and Armstrong?
That's a lot. They get more moon tours than I do. I feel sorry for those guys.
Is it just... I think I might know how you feel.
Oh, you do you? Remind me, have you ever walked on the moon?
No, but... in 1932, my mother flew solo across the Atlantic. I barely had a heart beat by a fortnight.
Gee, your mom must have been sore.
Yes, well, I don't like to talk about it.
You know, Mandy, I think maybe you understand me after all. How would you like to step out with me sometime?
That would be lovely. What do you have in mind?
Well, I know a swell little French restaurant.
How lovely! My mother landed in France when she flew solo across the Atlantic.
Oh, we jettisoned the launch rockets into the Atlantic when I went to the moon.
My mother's plane had powerful rockets when she flew solo across the Atlantic.
Of course, you couldn't fly a plane on the moon. When I walked
My
on
mother's
the moon,
plane
we
was
were up there on the
very
moon and we
fast
had
when
the
she went
rocket.
across the Atlantic.
Candyman, 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 Candyman.